Last job-killing anti-development decade, Liberals now claim they want Canada to be an energy superpower, but will only approve pipelines if there's consensus. Yet there's no consensus even in their own cabinet. Most of these ministers stopped pipelines for years. The PM's top gun said, quote, "It is essential not to increase oil production." And the PM himself says, quote, "Half of oil reserves need to stay in the ground." The PM copied Conservatives on energy after he helped block Canada's for half a decade. Isn't it true they really won't ensure private sector pipelines in all directions can get built in Canada fast at all?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to thank the honourable member for her question. Later today, we will be tabling new legislation to help build Canada strong, to build the projects of national interest, to make us the strongest economy in the G7. I really hope the members will support our bill.
The honourable member for Lakeland.
But that rhetoric and their photo ops don't matter. Actions do. And the truth is, no private sector pipelines will get built to coasts with shipping and drilling bans. Companies won't build pipelines while this government is the only one in the world to cap Canadian oil and gas and carbon taxes Canadian industries while the U.S. and others don't. They won't kill the anti-development Bill C-69 that premiers, Indigenous leaders, the private sector and the Supreme Court oppose. Plus, they say there has to be consensus, but they alone will define what's in the national interest. Why won't they just repeal all their anti-energy laws so Canadian workers can at least—
The Honourable Government House Leader.
You know, Madam Speaker, sometimes she talks about concrete actions. Well, that member, for one rare occasion, gets to not just simply criticize, but gets to stand up. Stand up for workers. Stand up for the government of Alberta. Stand up for all of the premiers and all of the territories in this country. Stand up for workers, unions, for businesses, for people who want to build this country, who want to create opportunity in this country, to do major projects and build a Canada strong. Will that member stand up and do something for once?
The honourable member for Terranova, the Peninsulas.
Mr. Speaker, during this last Liberal decade, North Atlantic refining stripped their investment in our local refinery, causing major instability in our area. On Wednesday, my honourable Liberal colleague from Newfoundland announced with pride that they are now investing once again, but not here, but in France. This does not seem like something a proud Newfoundlander would announce. My question is, did this Liberal leadership force my fellow Newfoundlander to spin this shameful news?
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think it's really important for the member opposite, and I welcome him to the House, but I think it's really important to remember that there is a bill that will be tabled later today that's about growing this country. And I am so proud of the work that this new government is doing to ensure that Canada meets this moment. That includes Canada becoming a world superpower. And I truly hope that the member opposite is going to be there to vote for all Newfoundland and Labradorians and all Canadians.
The honourable member for Terranova, the Peninsulas.
Madam Speaker, they're good at promises, but not production. In fact, they'll cap it. This refinery used to produce 100% of our island's diesel, propane, jet fuel, and gasoline. Then, this Liberal government wasted $89 million to a conversion for only biodiesel. And now we have to ship in all these other fuels, and everyone is paying the price. Mr. Speaker, does this government realize that their political headline is now costing Newfoundlanders an extra 5 cents a litre to import fuels that used to be made on our rock?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, on Monday we met with the premiers, including the Premier of Newfoundland, to talk about how we will build Canada strong. We had consensus with all of the different premiers. We are tabling, just 5 days later, we are tabling legislation to start building again. We really hope the members will support this new legislation.
The honourable member for Peace River Westlock.
Mr. Speaker, after the Liberals' Bill C-69 cancelled a dozen pipeline projects in Canada, Germany, Japan, Greece, Poland, Latvia, Ukraine, South Korea, the Philippines, and Taiwan have all pleaded with Canada for our LNG. Now, in the middle of a jobs crisis, the promise of an energy superpower, and the world wanting our energy, we could use Canadian steel and Canadian labor to build Canadian pipelines to get Canadian energy to the world. So how many new pipelines? How many new pipelines can we expect operational in the next 2 years?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Madam Speaker, that member, just like all of his colleagues, are going to have a golden opportunity. Presented later today, there will be a bill with a plan to build this country with the men and the women and the wood and the steel and the aluminum, with companies, with unions, with workers, men and women from right across this country to build the economy of tomorrow. That member will have a golden opportunity to support this government's plan. Will he do it?